This is the beginning of it because the others are still playing over at the black box. And I want you to scream, holler, and shout and do whatever is necessary to make these cats here feel like they really want to play for you. And anyways, let's play the tune.
Hello, my name is Uli Geissendoerfer. I'm originally from Munich, Germany, but I've been living in the States for over 30 years now. I came here originally to study music at the University of North Texas, which is my alma mater, and then I went for 2 years to Connecticut. I was actually teaching at the university there, University of Hartford, and then I moved to New York, which is still my spiritual home to some degree. And then I came out to Las Vegas in 2009. I was about to go back to New York when the university approached me, and so I started teaching at UNLV. And then 7 years ago, I founded the jazz club at the Dispensary Lounge. We had a new bartender, John, and John was in there for like several months, and the weekends were simply dead. So he suggested to Adele, the owner, let's liven this up. Let's put some live music in there. My sister's a singer. Let's simply do this. And so we did it for one weekend, and it was a huge success. And so Adele approached me, what can we do? And I said, well, if I do anything, I want to do a series with real music. So we do a jazz club. We focus on the music, not on entertainment, not on production value, but on the music itself. And so that's how it started. We started with every Friday and Saturday, had a singer there for the whole weekend. Eventually we started with Wednesdays, jam session, and then other Wednesdays, original music and more instrumental music. And so after like half a year, that started being pretty much established. My spiritual home is somewhat New York, so the idea of a jazz club in New York is what I've sort of tried to do there. And many people have commented on like that, they're stepping in there and it's not like what they would expect in Vegas, but the feeling is much more of a relaxed atmosphere, like a New York little jazz club. I always loved history of jazz. As a matter of fact, when I was in college, I think that was one of my best subjects. I was fairly decent, but I just loved it. I soaked it up. It came natural. So you become your own historian by just being there at the right moment. And so when I saw Vegas and when I first moved here, the jazz scene was dead. I mean, you put jazz on the marquee, not even the dog would show up, basically. And so I started Dispensary basically almost as my own form of therapy. I'm going like, I need some musical therapy. I need to have some music, where we really can play, not just entertainment and not just shows and not the same stuff that has been played for 30 years, but things that, jazz lives in the moment. You want to take the moment and encapsulate it and just manifest it musically. There's always a certain energy in the air, and I think, especially as a jazz musician, you want to take that energy and manifest it right there. And jazz being in more open form, you don't have to read all the notes, but you have certain things, the form, the songs, but you have a lot of freedom within, and it's very conducive to that. So when I saw that there was no jazz, and I'm like, no, it cannot be, so I basically revived it with the help of the Dispensary and the school and the artists we can bring in. Jazz lives now largely in the institutions, in the universities, in the high schools, and some middle schools as well. But jazz, like many other forms of music, was music of the streets. And that idea of music of the streets encapsulated a specific energy. It had a specific rawness, but also a realness. Because I think only the rawness is really what touches people. what I'm trying to provide is the soil and the bed for great music to happen. Since I'm in the university, I see all the young kids and I encourage them to come in. And so as soon as they turn 21, I start to have them play with us, even give them their own night, have their own groups. And lots of, I call them my kids, have really flourished and really began their own careers and bringing in amazing music. And that's what it's about, What is in store for the Jazz Club for the future? Live broadcasts. At this day and age, you gotta get the music out there. Because what's not broadcast, what's not presented on the net in one form or fashion or another is forgotten immediately. Which is great. The best nights are happening when nobody records. I usually had a camera running for many years. Sometimes I leave it off. It's something that when people just are left to the thing of, let's just play, we are here, we can do it. Suddenly it flourishes, So the Jazz Club at the Dispensary Lounge is located on the corner of Trop and Eastern, Tropicana and Eastern, at 2451 East Tropicana. And on the strip mall, behind red doors, you will find the Little Jazz Haven. We're there on Wednesdays, starting at 9 o'clock, 9 to 12. Fridays and Saturdays from 10 to 2. And then Sundays from 6 to 9 p.m. You can find our information on the web at www.thedispensarylounge.com. Catch us live, listen to music, teach your kids music. It's the most beautiful thing. It's the language of the soul and the heart.
Something like that.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming out tonight. You've been privy to the first one and definitely not the last one of the UNLV faculty after our fall festival.